6 o'clock here on your Wednesday. We are halfway through the week, everyone. Jason and Alicia here with you. Getting a taste of winter this morning, huh?
It is cold.
Yeah.
Yes, I was thinking, I brought in a flannel just this morning, John. I think you need to up it up, maybe a hat too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know.
48 degrees it's cold.
It's so weird though, because I used to always battle my mom and say, well, Mom, I need shorts on because the afternoon's warm. It's always weird. So yes, we have this frost advisory in effect at 8 o'clock this morning. But talking about this afternoon, International Falls ruined it. They were at 31, now they're at 33. But they're going to be in the middle 60s today. It's 48 here in the Twin Cities, cold this morning since May 20th. So yeah, I think you grab a jacket, but I'd be ready to shed the layers. Look at St. Cloud, 36 degrees. Clear skies, a little patchy fog in the midst of this, but this afternoon we will see temperatures warm quite a bit. Some of us pushing 70. It's just a little bit awkward, so I wouldn't overdo it on the clothes because sunny skies in upper 60s starts to feel a little warm when you're running around. So light coats, and we'll talk about a summer-like return in your forecast.
All right, thanks, John. The road's looking really good this morning. The only thing I'm spotting, and it's just minor, as you head out of the Lowry Tunnel, maybe heading over to St. Paul and 94, just a breakdown on the right-hand shoulder. As you can see, not slowing traffic down. We'll continue to do a little tour of the metro, see how things are looking. Coming up, Jason.
All right, Jen, thank you. Developing right now in the next 30 minutes or so, hundreds of Hormel meat packers at the Austin, Minnesota plant will start voting on a new contract.
If that contract's rejected, it could set the stage for an eventual strike, which is something the city went through back in the 80s. CC's live in Austin with the very latest. Good morning, CC.
Good morning. Still waiting for those workers to walk in here this morning, but a huge vote happening here soon. Now, workers are asking for higher wages and pensions. That's after the union says Hormel made $2 billion in profits within the last year. Now, a strike may happen in the city that still remembers the last one. That was so polarizing back in 1985, as you see here. The strike then lasted nearly a year, and the National Guard was even called in to curb violence when strikebreakers broke the picket line. But a former worker says it was still all worth it.
You know, I wish every worker could just stand up and realize that we're the ones that make the profit. You know, they wouldn't be able to sell anything if there wasn't something that we make.
Now, Hormel is optimistic that both sides will be able to reach some type of agreement. Voting lasts until tomorrow, and then we'll learn the results on Friday. Back to you.
A lot of folks will be watching this one very, very closely, no doubt about that. Cece, thank you.
And this morning, we're also keeping an eye on another possible strike that could impact the daily commute of thousands of people living right here in the metro.
I'm Kaya Edwards. The Union for Metro Transit Drivers and other frontline positions has voted to authorize a strike. That doesn't mean they will walk off the job, though. The two sides would need to reach an impasse during upcoming negotiations and file a strike notice with the state. Members of ATU Local 1005 are calling for increased staffing, insisting Metro Transit has the funding to make vacant positions marketable. The Met Council, which represents Metro Transit, says employees are integral to operations and that it looks forward to bargaining. A session is scheduled for Friday next week.
6:04 on the clock, and in the last few hours, we've confirmed with State Patrol that a 68-year-old woman died in a crash on Highway 55 in Plymouth. This video from yesterday shows the moments leading up to the crash. It happened at the intersection of Industrial Park Drive. State Patrol tells us a truck and a car collided with the woman who was driving an SUV. You're seeing the aftermath right here. One of the vehicles you see on the bottom of your screen even caught on fire. As of right now, we don't know if anyone else was injured. This morning, a bus driver is facing charges after running over a 6-year-old boy in Brooklyn Park. After dropping the boy off at Edinburgh Golf Course in January, the criminal complaint states that the child's jacket got stuck on a light. The complaint says the driver didn't notice him call out and backed up over the boy, severely injuring him. If convicted, he could face up to 90 days in jail.
We are taking you live from D.C. right now as we track a developing story coming out of the U.S. Capitol. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is officially opening an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. It centers around Biden's time as vice president and the allegation that he helped his son Hunter make money off of the Biden name. All 4 Republican members of Congress in Minnesota are supporting McCarthy's call for an impeachment this session. We are less than 6 months away from the presidential primary, but this morning some voters in Minnesota are trying to keep former President Donald Trump off the 2024 ballot. The lawsuit says Trump's actions leading up to the January 6th attack at the Capitol disqualify him from running, and that the law is set in stone as the 14th Amendment in the Constitution.
Section 3 says that anyone who swore an oath to support the Constitution but then engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States is disqualified from public office unless and until 2/3 of both houses of Congress grants that person amnesty.
The Minnesota Supreme Court will hand this off to a judge, then have a hearing and prepare findings. The case will then go back to the Supreme Court for a final ruling.
We need to update you right now on another data breach here in Minnesota. This one impacts the state's job site for those looking for work. Indeed says people's contact information, like their home and email addresses, may have been accessed. They've revoked the hackers' access to the site and sent letters to those who may have been impacted here. If you own a home in Minneapolis, there's a big meeting happening at 5 tonight regarding property taxes. City leaders are hosting a public hearing on setting the tax levy for next year at 6.2%. It's all part of Mayor Frey's $1.8 billion biannual budget proposal for 2024. If approved, the median homeowner would pay about $150 more in property taxes next year. And if you live over in St. Paul, there's a public hearing on possibly banning people from smoking weed and cigarettes on city property. City leaders didn't vote on the proposal last week, saying that they needed more input. New state law allows you to smoke pot in your home, but smoking it in public is up to individual cities.
This morning, the St. Louis Park Public Schools superintendent is resigning. The district says Dr. Aston Osai told them yesterday about his decision. Tammy Reynolds, the director of student services, will lead the district as the acting superintendent. District leaders say they're working to figure out a long-term solution for the role. This morning, Robbinsdale area schools are the latest district to use the Say Something system. It's designed for students in 6th through 12th grades and allows them to anonymously submit tips to the National Crisis Center on anything from potentially violent students to bullying and depression. The center then notifies the school and law enforcement as appropriate.
Got an update for you this morning on this video of flooding over in Duluth. This happened Monday night when storms dropped 2 to 5 inches of rain in just over an hour. You can see here it left some intersections at Superior Street. It left a lot of rain in some intersections in Superior Street near downtown. City officials tell us that area, thankfully, is now back open. Of course,